Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dice to Roll, the Queerest Pathfinder Podcast on the planet, where you answer hard questions like, is it pronounced Geb with a hard G, or Jeb with a soft G?
It's definitely not Jeb. It's definitely Geb.
You sounded so horrified.
I severely do not want it to be Jeb, because outside of this game, I'm playing Bloodlords. I do not. There's a little character there's a little animal called Little Geb. I don't want to think about him being Little Jeb because it makes me think about Jeb fucking Bush.
I need you to describe to the audience. Tell me about Little Jeb. Tell everyone about Little Jeb right now.
His name is Little Geb. Little Geb belongs to my good friend Talzin. Little Geb is a tiny hyena baby boy. Little Geb is named after Geb, but he's just little Geb. And Lil Geb speaks with the deepest baritone voice possible. He can speak, and he says, "Feed me, father, for I am hungry." Shit like that. I'm a big fan of Lil Geb. And I hope that everyone else is too.
Now, I'd like you to imagine the election season has come around in the Impossible Lands. The leader of Alkenstar is doing well with the youth vote, but conservatives are leaning more towards the current leader of Nex. Election day comes around, everyone's counting up the votes, and oh my god, every single province in the Impossible Lands has all voted for Jeb! And out comes the Ghost King, the leader of the Necromancy Nation, arms open and head tilted towards the sky. Jeb! Jeb! Jeb!
Dear God!
Oh. That's why it cannot be pronounced as Jeb under any circumstances.
Everyone back home, you now need to tweet Geb with it, a hard G with an exclamation mark. We can get a Jeb sweep going, everyone.
No, it's a soft G.
It's a yeah, exactly. I'm glad you agree.
No. Guh, I'm correcting you. I'm being an asshole.
No, I'm glad.
Guh is a hard G. Juh is a soft G. I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna stick your head in the toilet bowl and flush.
You know what? You're right. It is a soft G. You are right. It is pronounced Jeb. I'm glad we solved that hard question.
It's not Jeb. It's Geb.
Would we like to play some Pathfinder?
No.
I feel like not until you agree with Riz.
No, it's too late. It's
Oh.
one of our. We're gonna let that tension build into our roleplay today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna kill myself.
So, previously in Fists of the Ruby Phoenix, our heroes woke up the next day after the devastation of Goka. King Mogaru destroyed a huge portion of the city, guided by Oni's mask, the Lightkeepers potentially, and a strange extra-dimensional figure who seemed to have it out for Hao Jin and ultimately reduced her to ashes. You guys were asked by Lady Nyan Fei to please, along with the other surviving teams, find where Hao Jin is. You were given charms which will point you in the right direction, and were assigned a giant airship, the Solar Jian II, piloted by everyone's favorite friend, Yo Saran, a fan of the Ruby Phoenix tournament and Ghibli man extraordinaire. You guys said your goodbyes to the other teams who were all setting off on their own journeys and took to the skies with the Solar Jian II and its crew, the pirates from Danger Island, The Last Breath. And that is where we're going to start today, with you guys high in the skies, following that Plover Charms path into the Wall of Heaven, the tallest mountain range in the world, and to see whatever is beyond it. Are we ready to rumble?
I like rumbling.
Okay. Well, let's set the scene.
Holy shit. Oh my god, this is cool as fuck.
Yeah, you like that shit?
Yeah, that's really cool.
You like that shit? I have an animated... I didn't make this, but I have... the map is an animated GIF, or a GIF if you were.
No.
of the Solar Jian II, this immense, massive airship. And clouds are like passing by it in the foreground and background. And in the far background, the sky is made to look like, you know those like old school Japanese scrolls, the way that they drew clouds with lots of spins and swirls?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of those with like wind patterns flying by to show that this giant airship is passing through the air. It is absolutely stunning. And I think that's a good description of your current situation. I'm going to drop each of you down on the ship. And I'm going to ask, 3 days into your flight, how are you all doing? So, we'll start with Chuji. Chuji, where are you currently on the ship? You've been here for 3 days. You've gotten used to it. Whether you like it or dislike being in the air is up to you. Where are you on the ship presently? Are you in your room? Are you on the deck? Whatever. And how are you doing as the race towards Hao Jin continues?
I think that Chuji is slowly transitioning into that fun, we're on an adventure kind of mindset, because any other mindset right now, I think they would die if they got a little bit too serious about this. Being on a little ship right now is nice, and I think that they've absolutely become best fucking friends with Yo.
Yeah?
There's no way in hell that they haven't. Two super fans of the Ruby Phoenix tournament in one place.
I bet it helps that he's extremely hot, right?
It helps that he has big, massive tits, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to imagine that presently, Chuji, you are up on the deck with Yo. Like he gives different jobs to Last Breath quite often. Like one day, Fervo will be in charge of the engines. The next day, he'll have Bako doing that kind of stuff. But the one thing that Yo will never let anyone else do is pilot the Solar Jian. That is his thing. He is the pilot, and he won't let anyone else touch it. You know?
Yeah.
And as he's kind of like here, he's saying, if you ask me, it's pretty obvious that when you look at some of that occult magic that the Biting Roses were using, they have to at least somehow been referencing Hara the Painted. You know, did you ever read up on that match?
Of course I fucking read up on it.
Yeah, the way that the fighting spirit thing, right? Hara the Painted essentially invented that. It was true manifesting his fighting spirit that he was able to take on the 47 stars, you know?
Maybe, but hey, don't discount how original they are. They've got it in their own way, you know?
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Influence, but I don't know about inspiration.
It's less... I don't think that... I'm not saying that Yalvel and the Biting Roses lifted it from it, but I have to imagine that Yalvel's sponsor, obviously, in the way that they dressed the Biting Roses, knew that some people would see comparisons between two fighting spirits, you know, between summoners and eidolons. So, I feel there's some aesthetic similarities going on, and I think that's a nice thing. It's a callback to one of the greatest fights 40 years ago, you know?
Yeah, I can't really follow you.
That was my first one.
Really?
Yeah, I saw Haram myself. It was great.
You're old.
Looks at you. I'm only 45 years old. That was, like, I'm not that old.
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
He huffs a little bit. But yeah. I'm reckoning we're getting pretty close to the end right now with this journey. How are you feeling, bud?
I'm ready to reach that end goal, but I'm enjoying the journey there, I guess.
He grins and says, hey, for me, I'm just happy to be a part of the legend, you know? Like, it's something else.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. You ever think you'd be in a position like this?
Well, yeah. I mean, I hoped at least.
Hey, and your hopes came true. Like, what was it that Goler the Bull Thrower said? If you let your hope guide you, anything is possible.
He did say that, yeah.
And Chuji, I think as you're like looking out at the sunset sky, it feels, you're right, like by ignoring all the danger and the terror that's come down on you all in the last few days, this is generally pretty exciting. And the Plover charm is pulling you towards something. Masami, how are you doing this fine, I'm gonna say Wheels Day, Fancy Wednesday?
I think they're doing okay. Probably doing a lot of training just to get their mind off of things.
Are you training with anyone in particular? Or are you just on your own? Because I'm sure the last Brett would happily come and give you a hand. And they are pretty capable, all things considered. Like, obviously they're not on your level or on the Ruby Phoenix tournament finalist level, but they're not pushovers by any means.
I think for a bit they train on their own, and if they spotted Masami and wanted to train with them, they wouldn't say no.
I think at some point, more likely than not, it's Bako who approaches you and like gives you a hand, and I think that's where the scene starts, is Bako being like launched back at a wall and going, ugh! And he kind of falls to a knee and he lets it out. Yep, that's 3-0 in your part, huh? Ugh.
Well, I've had fights to prepare for, so...
Yeah, you're telling me you've grown terrible strong now since Danger Island.
Oh man, I'm only using my fists.
Yeah, I don't reckon I'd be able to stand up against that mean-looking sword of yours. He kind of like tilts and looks at your like fused staff of power Chokoto.
Oh,
Now, that's
yeah.
a weapon for the legends.
Yeah, I didn't think I would make any modifications to it. Honestly, I wanted to keep this for as long as I could, and the modifications now I think I can.
He kind of nods a little bit and says, "Hey, sometimes you don't know what changes are thrown your way. 1 second, you're a pirate captain out in the shackles, chasing after all sorts of enemies with your sea serpent companion. The next, you're piloting a ship over the mountains in Tiansha. Stuff changes when you're following life. It's best to just let it happen, Let the leaf in the wind guide you sometimes. It's all often for the better,
I suppose. Wait, Sea Serpent Companion?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why I joined the Ruby Phoenix."
Huh?
Alright, see, and he kind of like stands up a little bit. "My son is a sea serpent, right?"
Huh?
And I think from around the corner, Clover, who's like doing some like maintenance, says, "It's not his actual son, it's more of a companion thing. It's his boy, It's my son.
okay.
If I say he's my son, he's my son."
I mean, I'm adopted too, so...
Ah, yeah, see, they get it. And Clover's like, yeah, okay. And Bako turns to you and says, "So, picture this. It was a dark and stormy night. The waves were churning and the sky was spitting lightning down on us.
Uh-huh.
We were in pursuit of a terrible ghost ship. Fleeing, of course. We wouldn't be the ones chasing it now. And the storm got so intense that my dear boy, he was ripped away by the waves and pulled into a whirlpool. It took him far off course. I've been following sightings of that boy now for 3 years, trying to hunt him down and find where he's gone. The latest said he had moved all the way to Tianshan. That's where people were seeing him, somewhere around this general vicinity in Goka. Reason we joined the Ruby Phoenix tournament was maybe we'd find some people who knew about it. So," he kind of leans back against the wall, "you see any sea serpents on your journeys around here?"
Sea serpent. Not that I can recall.
Ugh, where to show? Sure, look, listen. If you come across one, you best be making sure that it comes back to me, yeah?
Sure.
I need to see my boy again.
I mean, I get it. Believe me. I'll make sure of that.
Aye, that's what I like to hear. And yourself, how's the quest going on your end? I know it's a fair bit more substantial than tracking down a missing sea serpent.
Oh, I mean, all-powerful sorceress needs saving from someone who is at her level, probably stronger. I didn't think my life would be going in this direction, but hey, sure, why not? It's kind of scary, to say the least, which is why I was training for all 3 days. But
But
you never know what happens out there, and this isn't a tournament. This is adventuring with higher stakes.
right.
I know that we're capable. I know that they're capable, but can't help but be scared, you know?
I don't reckon you should be scared. You're literally one of the greatest fighters that this world has ever seen, yeah? You've toppled a tournament. You never lost once. You scared off a kaiju. If the newspapers are telling the truth, you fought the assassin king of a ninja clan on top of a building on fire. And, to top off everything else, you bested Last Breath. He kind of grins.
Right.
What I'm saying is, yeah, it's scary. I reckon that everyone else should be scared of you. You know? After all, you've got something that none of them have. And that's the power of friendship.
Oh god, here we go again.
Oh, you've got good friends. It keeps you... I spent a long time coming up with this metaphor. What do you mean, here we go again?
Nothing. It's something my dad keeps telling me about.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I thought I came up with it.
It's a thing. It's a thing people know about.
What? Ugh. Bloody hell. Clover again pokes their head around the corner and says, I did tell you this, Captain. It's not new ground. The power of friendship is something that goes all the way back in Skaldic Tales. He's like, fuck off, you. I think he kind of laughs and offers you a swig of water. And we kind of pan out. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sanku, Witch Prince of the Sea.
It's him.
Where are you today on the Solar Jian II?
I'm not sure. I think he's kind of watching the sky. Because this is not exactly his experience with ships. So he's at the edge of he's at the ledge, looking down and also around at the sky and stuff. Mostly out of curiosity. He doesn't look scared or anything.
Yeah. You're swimming this boat through clouds. You can see the waves far, far beneath you. And not so far away now is the Wall of Heaven, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think Lolo kind of comes out of your bag. He is looking so pampered, by the way. His scales are slicker than you ever seen him. He looks very relaxed, and he smells kind of nice instead of old fish. And he says, Sankru, my boy.
Oh, hi.
How are you enjoying this flight through the skies?
It's weird. I've been on ships before, but I keep expecting to see water. Now I'm just seeing the clouds.
Always a new experience with you, boy.
Yeah.
He kind of looks out and says, in a way, isn't that a miracle?
What do you mean?
Someone at your level of strength, and you've still seen so little of the world, unlocked so few of its secrets. You're still a student, and yet most adventurers would fall in a single footstep against you.
I never thought of it like that.
I wonder, Sanku. We've spent so much time working on Sanku, Witch Prince of the Sea, but what do you wish to be once you've obtained all the power you can get? Because, frankly, I feel this is hardly the end. You'll continue growing for a long time. What do you see as Sanku, Witch King of the Sea?
Oh, God.
When you're grown and you have a beautiful mustache and beard similar to mine.
No, I don't want
Your
a
antlers
mustache.
tall and proud, magnificent robes around your shoulders, and a scepter in your hand, and of course, a mighty dragon empowered with the skills taken from him by the celestial dragon, gifted back to him once more.
I don't know. I've never thought that far ahead.
Well, what would you like? In a perfect future for you, Sanka, my boy, what becomes of you? And you don't have to worry about being silly. I'll be there to support you, no matter what it is, so long as you always pledge to do good to the world.
I've only ever thought about being your student,
That never has to end, Sanku. But surely you'd want to do something with the powers when you've learned them, no?
Mostly I just think about helping people, which is something I already do.
Well then, maybe perhaps one day the Witch King of the Sea will ride the waves in a ship, helping those who have been cast away at sea with your control of the waves, and saving people in sinking ships, helping those trying to navigate through difficult storms, the one that all the people in the realm come to when they need aid at the sea.
I do like that.
Or perhaps you'll be a ruler in the plane of water, having freed the elemental lords who are trapped there and disparaged the current tyrants who rule. Maybe you'll one day become an elemental lord yourself, able to guide those throughout the multiverse who come seeking the wisdom of water. Or maybe you'll stay exactly as you are, a comfy young man just seeking out more knowledge as he travels with his friends.
I don't know what I want yet. I'm kind of happy right now. Not that I wouldn't be happy if new things happened. I'm not crazy. But I don't know if I've ever really thought about what else I could do.
He kind of looks up at you and says, "Oh, well, don't worry about it too much, Sanku. We've got plenty of other things to do in the meantime. Right now, we've got such a terribly dangerous mission, but it's a mission that we'll have fun on, won't we?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything that could happen that would ruin my mood on this journey.
Now I'm worried that you're jinxing it.
No, certainly not, boy. Now,
Oh god, I'm gonna knock on wood.
forget the wood, Sanku. Would you like some cucumber water that I got from my pet cache?
Sure.
He pulls out a fucking doggy bowl that says the word Lolo on it.
Why do you have a doggy bowl?
It's for drinking from. Take a sip, young Sanku. It refills automatically.
No, I think you can have that.
Oh, goody. Delicious.
Are you having fun?
I was like, how long can I do that before you guys stop me?
I was waiting for you to
The
That
answer
already
is-
went on long enough.
The answer is I'm not stopping you because I think it's funny.
So, I think it's at that point, thank God, that you hear all across the ship, Yo say, "Oh, Shuji!"
Huh? What?
In your hand, Shuji, the plover charm is starting to ring and point in one direction. And you look at the horizon, and there it is. My God. The peak of Iron Mountain pierces the clouds that enshroud the rest of the Wall of Heaven. A massive island floats upside down in the sky above the peak's summit, the ocean that surrounds it blending into the stratosphere. Though the air up here is freezing, the air around the island ripples like shimmering heat wafting off summer stone. And Masami, even as you see it immediately, the second that your eyes land on it, you are hit by a sense of smell that you understand to be your magic sense. You can tell what has happened here, I think. And it's that weird shimmering you're seeing. That's because the planar fabric around here has become warped. What you're seeing is not just a random floating island in front of you. It is a floating island in another dimension. And that visual image is its reflection into the material plane. You guys are all in separate parts of the ship. Do you run up, meet up, and discuss? What's the plan?
Yeah, I think Senku goes to find the others.
Masami is ninja hopping all over the ship to find the others.
Chuji's scrambling. They, slide around the corner.
You guys
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you guys meet up. You're staring off at this upside down island in the sky.
Whoa.
And the plover charm is ringing towards it, it's almost pulling itself out of your hand, Chuji.
They're struggling to hold on to it. And they run out to the others and
Do you see that?
I do.
It's hard to miss.
Shit. We gotta make sure that Yo sees it too before we crash into it.
Yo yells out from like nearby, says, "Don't worry, I see it."
Well,
I guess that's where we're going.
I guess so.
If the charm's any indication, yep.
Yo calls out and says, "Is this our destination, team?"
Yep.
Okay, Fervo, hoist the mainsail. And Fervo kind of yells out, "Yarp!" from like a few levels above you all, and like pulls a few switches, and from the side of the Solar Jian, 2 giant masts come out, deploying giant sails that push them along. Then he calls and says, "Baco, stoke the engines!" And Baco starts like shoveling coal into this giant furnace that powers up the hot air balloon that is covering up this ship. And he then points at us, "And Clover, make sure we're getting in the right way. Keep us on course." And Clover salutes and scrambles up to a nest and like pulls out a spying glass. And Yo says, "Radiant winds, prepare to make landing in the island in the sky."
Okay.
Sure.
And do you guys wait to get closer?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you watch and you wait, and it gets closer. And it gets closer. And it gets closer. And you wait. And
Yeah.
it gets closer. And it gets closer. And
Are
you
we-
wait.
What the fuck?
Kind of look off the side and just kind of squint around. And it gets closer? Question mark? Wait, what the fuck?
Huh?
It's not getting closer.
Are we stuck in place?
The Solar Jian is sailing through the air as fast as always. But once you get towards like about a mile away from it, you make no progress. Space seems to expand the closer that the party gets to the island, and the ship seems to be traveling only the distance, like half the distance each second that it did previously. Basically, the space between you and it is slowly stretching, and the ship is slowing down, and you are making a sum total of no progress because of it.
What
Huh.
in the world?
How does that even work?
I think Yo calls out and says, "What's the situation up there? It doesn't look like we're getting close."
You gotta be doing something wrong, man. We're like not close at all.
He barks a few more orders, and like last Brett continue like doing everything before like Baco calls out and says, "Everything's working at maximum capacity. If we push ourselves any harder, the Solar Jian's gonna catch fire."
What's going on? Is there some kind of magic that's keeping us from getting closer?
I think Masami looks to see.
Do you want to make me an Arcana check, please?
I can do that. I'm pretty good at Arcana. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Masami. I think you can recognize that it's... You felt it earlier, but no, now you're sure of it. That isn't an island. There is no island there. It's a reflection of the island. It's a mirage.
Okay. We're not flying to the right thing. This is only a reflection.
What?
Well, how do we find the real one then?
Well, I think Masami looks down overboard.
And I think as Masami, you look down overboard, you hear a ringing. As
Okay.
from Chuji's bell, the plover charm, which is now shaking harder and harder than ever. It's like almost ripping itself out of your hand, Chuji.
Fuck. Jesus.
And then something interesting happens. It goes perfectly still. And then it shoots out a single tin thread, colored in ruby red.
Oh.
And that string shoots out from the plover charm, and it seems to like it pulls your arm off the edge of the ship, and you're like holding onto it tight as it shoots out, flying towards that mirage. And then the string splits in two, one part of it is trying and failing to reach that island in the sky, while the other tread beams directly down at the peak of Iron Mountain, one of the tallest mountains in this entire mountain range. And it seems to illuminate some kind of alpine lake down there, you think?
Odd.
Yo kind of looks at you and says, "What's going on? Is everything okay?"
I think we might have to land down there, as Masami points directly below them.
Okay, piece of cake for a guy like me. Solar Jian going in for a landing. Everyone, battle stations, please. And, last breath, jump back into, shoveling and pulling and whatever. And Yo turns that wheel and starts bringing the Solar Jian down into a descent. And you guys land on top of the mountain. 11,664 carved stone steps stretch from the base to the peak of Iron Mountain. The trees cleared out around the incredible staircase. The only sounds come from the flapping of prayer flags in the biting wind. The stairs open to an alpine plateau overlooking a vast, steaming lake that smells of sulfur and remains liquid in defiance of the low temperature. Twin vermilion shrine gates break the surface of a lone pier. You guys land, and it is snowing and it is freezing. You can tell that much from where you are. You're still on the Solar Jian, which has environmental protection, but you can tell it's going to be cold as fuck out there.
Chuji makes a face. I don't think they brought clothes to be prepared for this weather.
More likely than not, no. You didn't think you'd be taking a pit stop in the Himalayas, I think.
No, not really. I think Chuji literally shivers looking at how cold it is down there. And they're like,
Oh, I guess we got off here.
Yo kind of comes up to you guys and says, "Hey, the Solar Jian would be parked right here. You need us, whistle, and we'll come get you." And he kind of gives you a big thumbs up.
Okay.
yeah, thanks.
Lolo kind of emerges from your bag, Sanku, and says, I don't like this place. Something feels off.
Do you know what you mean? Like it feels like something is wrong here?
No, not quite. I don't know what it means. This place seems very familiar.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's weird. You're being weird and foreboding and ominous.
Is this not a place that feels weird and foreboding and ominous? Look at all those stairs. Boy, I'd hate to be the one climbing those.
You can fly. You don't have to.
Exactly. I don't have to. Enjoy, suckers.
As if these two also can't fly and I can jump at high speeds.
You can also sit on my broom, I think.
That
Not
bag
broom.
has got you
You
real
can also-
pampered, Lolo.
Yeah.
I think Yo folds his arms and says, no, maybe you should climb these ones. You ever get a feeling like that? Like, you could take the easy route, but maybe the reason there's so many stairs is so you don't take the easy route? I don't know. Just a feeling.
Shut up.
Hey, okay. Man! Man! He kind of steps back, hands up.
Well, I mean, does anyone want to attempt flight? Just in case.
I'll take the offer.
So, are you guys gonna fly up the tower or fly up the stairs?
Yeah, Chuji sits on the back of Senku's broom for once.
Okay. Masami, are you gonna walk? Are you gonna turn on your wings? What's the plan?
Yeah, I think they're gonna use their wings.
I mean, nothing happens for using the wings. It's just more of a you get the feeling that this is some sort of pilgrimage site. Like, that's something that becomes very obvious to you as you walk, that this is like a holy place.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know to what or to who.
Weird.
Do you guys want to make your way up to the top?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
As you climb or fly, all of you fly, these 11,664 carved stone steps, you get to the summit of the Iron Mountain. And you can see clearly now, all around the plateau, watching over it, are 12 statues. A swallow, an ox, a sovereign dragon, an ogre, a forest dragon, a blossom, a dog, a sky dragon, an archer. And you all recognize those as the 12 Tian zodiac creatures.
Okay.
And as you get to the top, and you see, like, it's this big open area. There's, like, it's a dais, you know? It's got, like, a tiled circular center. It's got some arches, like shrine arches. And a lot of snow. It is so fucking cold, you guys.
Oh, God.
In fact, I think very quickly you do realize that this is severe cold.
Oh, God.
Which basically means, just for funsies, that the current temperature is about minus 15 Fahrenheit.
Oh.
Like, it is not good. For all our friends using the correct heating measurement, that is minus 26 degrees Celsius.
The wrong one, you mean?
And for all our friends in the science community, that is 247 Kelvin.
Oh my god.
Dear Lord.
The only measurement that you should be going for. Kelvin.
Exactly.
Kelvin? Yeah, sure, why not?
Shout out to my man, the Kelvin. Best scientific notation. Every 4 hours, you guys are going to need to make a fortitude save against the cold or start taking damage. That's because of how cold it is.
If I have cold resistance, what does that mean?
That means you will take less damage from being cold.
Okay, I have 10 cold resistance. Just so everybody knows.
You'll probably be fine. But Chuji, Masami, you two are fucking freezing. Sanku, your magic ring of cold resistance is keeping you safe, but Masami and Shuji, you two are fucking freezing. It does not help that the sun is, like, setting. You know?
Can Shuji, in an attempt to be less cold, enter Stoked Flame Stance? Just indefinitely for now? And just kind of, like, punch around?
You know what? I think I will allow you to do that. I'll let you roll athletics instead of fortitude when you have to start rolling against a cold.
Mm-hmm. Just to give you, like, an image, they are walking around like normal people while Chuji is walking around punching the air, kind of like hopping.
Yeah,
Like
you're
a
like keeping
fucking
yourself warm. You're
insane
like,
person.
you know?
They look crazy right now.
What do you guys do now that you're here?
So there's statues of the Zodiac?
Yeah, but they're not like nearby. They're like scattered around the plateau surrounding this mountain.
Okay. Senku sort of looks out at them and he's like,
Lolo,
Hmm?
you don't know anything about this place, do you?
He squints and he looks around. And his eyes widen, and then they narrow, and then they widen again, and says, "No, I don't think there's anything here. Why don't we go back to the Solar Jian and find another way to get to that island?"
What?
You're being weird.
Would anyone like to make me a perception check?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Masami and Shuji, you're both kind of weirded out by Lolo's reaction, but Sanku, you catch what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
He is startled. He is caught off guard.
Lolo, are you okay?
Yes, I just don't know if there's much worth investigating in this place.
Are you
There's
sure?
plenty of
You
other
seem-
mountains in this range, my friend. Why don't we just head on?
You seem kind of startled.
Are you pussing out?
Oh, I just think this mountain, while novel, doesn't seem to have anything about the Ruby Phoenix. There must be clues elsewhere, certainly.
I'm sure, but
The charm sent us here.
You're acting really weird.
Would anyone like to make a perception check? Just kind of like glance around, see what might have caught him so bad.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh no. Chuji, you see it. And it all clicks into place.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the furthest wall. There's a mural. A mural of this very mountain, with the stars above forming into the 12 zodiac signs. And underneath these stars, on top of the mountain where you stand now, is a beautiful princess. And she's holding up her hand towards a truly, utterly colossal dragon that seems to take up all of the sky.
Oh no.
And you remember a legend. Every 12 years, the mighty celestial dragon, an imperial dragon of immense power, appears atop the mountain to grant a wish to a royal maiden. This is the place.
Huh. I think Chuji sees that in the distance and they just turn back to look at Lolo.
He does not return your gaze.
This is a conundrum because I want to look around, but I think in this moment Chuji genuinely kind of feels bad for Lolo and doesn't want to make him be here as much as they shit on him and make fun of him all the time.
But you know as well that the Ruby Phoenix, somehow True Magic guided you to this place.
Yeah.
So that's a conundrum you've got, huh?
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
I will also say that Masami and Sanku, the two of you have not noticed that wall. It's just that Chuji got a nat 20. Now, obviously, if you searched, you would probably come across it sooner or later, but you don't notice it in a cursory glance around, so you don't know why Lolo is acting so weird.
You're torturing me. You're fucking torturing me.
Lolo,
What?
do you really not want to be here?
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a very interesting place. I'm sure there's more exciting places around for you young adventurers to explore.
Look, man, you don't have to be out with us, but they're gonna see it.
I don't know. Oh! Everyone, look over there! On the wall! What is that mural?
Senku looks over.
Masami squints at Lolo and looks.
Oh shit. Hey, doesn't that look kind of like that one dragon?
Oh. Are you okay?
Oh my! Hang on, is that? No!
Lolo.
The hated celestial dragon! Here? Oh, I take back everything I said before. This place, it's I knew it felt wrong.
Would it help you feel any better if I scouted in front?
I don't know what you're referring to. All I'm referring to now is that I was mistaken. I thought this place was just a regular shrine to some unknown and forgotten deity, but it appears to be the hive of my hated enemy.
Masami takes a deep sigh and goes a few steps ahead of the group, does a couple hand signs, and casts bilocation.
Bilocation?
Yep.
Okay, what happens in bilocation?
You exist in two planes at once. When you cast a spell, another copy of yourself appears in an adjacent square. During bilocation's duration, whenever you act, you can choose which of yourselves does so, and whenever one of you use the move action, you can both move. Masami's using this as a scout.
Are you going to just basically check out this whole place, make sure everything's good?
Yes. And if they move any steps if the group moves any steps forward, the scout moves forward too.
Okay. So, I want you to make me a magic roll of some sort, probably Arcana, just to scout this place out and see what's up with it.
Okay.
I will say you do not find any traps. You do not find any sign of the dragon just randomly being here, which makes sense because what you remember from that opera that... Well, not Razu, huh? Huh. What you remember from the opera one way or another is that the celestial dragon only appears every 12 years.
And when was the last one?
At this point, about 9 years ago, so he's not due to reappear, you know? Which is really weird, considering with your crit success, you can tell that it has been less than 12 years since this dais was activated, and a huge amount of energy was recently released here, saturating the site and priming it for some task. And I think, with your crit success, you can tell that energy that was released here was aligned with the element of the phoenix. Lolo's like on Sanku's shoulder and says, "Well, any sign of that blasted dragon? Well, when I see him, I'm going to show him the what for."
Lolo. No sign of him. The last time he reappeared, it was only 9 years ago, which means he's still due for another 3. But there's a huge amount of energy aligned with the Ruby Phoenix's magic.
Well, that rascal, he's always up to something, isn't he? There's always something with the celestial dragon.
Sanku looks at Lolo and he's like, "Are you sure you're okay?"
Yes, now that I have been presented with a way to get all my power that was stolen back, I will... Well, let's just hope we don't run into the old mean bastard, because you don't know what I'll do to him if we do. Chuji, I think you've still got that nat 20, so I think you're the one who's like noticing Lolo's tells the most. He's afraid.
Yeah, I was about to say he's scared.
He is very scared.
And Chuji is anxious for him, I think.
Lolo, I think, while he's like very bluster and like rah, 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 to Masami and Sanku, every once in a while he shoots you a look, Chuji. A look of like, yeah, I know you know. And I am...
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
I think, yeah, Chuji gives him that same look of, I know you know I know. He
gives you a look that says, I know you know, I know you know.
And then they give him a look that says, I know you know, I know you know, I know.
What in the hell are you two doing?
Nothing.
Oh, just playing a game of I Spy. I spy the demise of my enemy, the celestial dragon. At long last, thank all the training we put you through.
Well, in this case, don't you think we should get moving? I have my other self scouting ahead of us. We'll be fine.
Yeah. We're gonna be fine.
So, what you guys can do is I can tell... I think you can all tell that the most important things to investigate around here are those statues. There's something about them that is quite striking, and you feel yourselves drawn to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 clusters. A south cluster, an east cluster, a north cluster, and a west cluster. Masami, with your bilocation, I will allow you to scout out one while the others do, while you all group up to scout another.
Okay.
So, what direction do you all want to head?
I like north. That's my favorite direction.
Okay.
North is fine, and then with Masami's bilocation, they're also going to check west.
Okay. You guys split up. Well, You don't split up, but one of you, Masami, goes. And, like, because you are both... By location, it's not like it's a clone. You are literally in two places at once.
Yep.
You know? So they're both the real Masami. Now, when you go to the north, you find 3 statues. The ogre, the forest dragon, and the blossom. Or at least, you see half of the ogre. Because half of it seems to have fallen off and crumbled down into the lake below. However, as you get close to these statues, you can see that there is script carved into them. Like there is writing on these statues. And it is a language that you have never seen before. You might recognize bits and pieces. I think, Sanku, you recognize some of it as being like using the same characters as Draconic, but then other times it doesn't seem to do so. What languages do you speak, Sanku?
Senku speaks Common, Aquan, Boggard, Celestial, Draconic, and Flowers.
Yeah, you speak flowers thanks to your cool flower item.
Mm-hmm.
But Sanku, with the Celestial, you recognize that some of these characters look more like Celestial than Draconic. It's a weird in-between of the two of them.
Okay.
Would you like to make me a Dragon Lore roll, please?
Yes.
Okay. Sanku, you recognize at last what this language is. This is Spirit Tortoise script. It's an ancient dialect of Tien. And I mean ancient. Like, prehistoric, you know? When man was first forming, like, rice farms and, like, making stone tools, this is the language that they wrote in. That's how old this place is.
Whoa.
Do you want to share with the class?
Yes.
I kind of recognize this. The language. I don't super understand it right now, but it's like Celestial and Draconic mixed together. It's like prehistoric. It's ancient.
Huh. Can either of us try to understand it?
You sure can, but I will say it looks like half of this is missing.
Mhm.
Because the ogre statue has collapsed into the lake below. And I think as you peek over the edge, you can see that the ogre statue is still down there. It just fell into the lake. And that's probably going to have the rest of the text you need to finish reading this properly.
Mm-hmm.
Lolo pokes his head out of the bag, squints, and then he doesn't say anything else. He's not being helpful today, sorry.
It's okay. I didn't expect him to.
Well, we're gonna need the other half to correctly decipher it anyway, so...
Let's get looking.
Okay.
Get lifting.
You guys want to jump down into that fucking lake? It's like a 60-foot drop, so it's not like... You can, like, climb down. It's not going to be the end
Yeah,
of the world
but getting into water in this temperature...
I will say, you can tell that the water is, like, steaming.
Oh, okay, it's a natural spring, okay.
It's a lake. And the whole thing has, like, steam coming off of it.
Kinda hot.
Literally kind of hot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Chuji fucking jumps down there. I haven't learned my lesson.
So you're diving down?
Yeah.
Well, it's not terrible, so I'm not gonna like. It's very still water. The water's very warm. It's a 60-foot drop, which is obviously quite a lot, but you're also like a fucking hero of legend.
Hmm.
So you splash into the water, and you are completely submerged for a second. Hey, when Chuji's afraid of boats, is it that they're afraid of boats or afraid of the water?
They're afraid of the water.
Hey, Chuji, you're underwater!
They get in the water, they're like, oh yeah, I can't swim.
The worst part is you're extremely good at swimming. Your athletics is legendary.
It's a mental thing.
Okay. You're pretty close to the shore. Do you swim to the shore, or do you splutter and scream?
They splutter and scream to the shore.
Okay. Sanku, Masami, you see Chuji absolutely balls that one up.
What are they doing?
You
It
can see them, like,
appears
flopping on the ground.
They're like clutching their chest.
Yeah.
Lolo looks down with a sour faces. I don't know, Senku. Young Shuji worries and frightens me sometimes.
I have no idea what they're up to.
Senku very delicately flies down to Chuji and
He's like, are you okay?
I didn't think that one through. Water's nice.
No. I'm glad.
Sami, Senku, do either of you want to get into the fucking water and find that fucking piece of rubble?
Yeah, Senku can do it. He can literally, he's like, give me a sec. And he goes underwater.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget my character choice.
So, Senku, as an Undyne, I believe you have a few feats specifically for this, right? Like, strong swimmer. You literally have a swim speed equal to your land speed.
Yes.
You know? And I believe you can cast water breathing.
Yes,
So
he can.
You literally just swim down like a fish to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, he can cast air bubble, I think.
Lolo kind of like swims out of your bag and comes with you. And it is very warm in here. It's like a nice hot bath. And you find the other half of the statue, like it's half of its head and like one of its shoulders, and there's like script all over it, like just carved in. It's a little eroded, but you can still make it out. And it's firmly jetted into like this crack in the ground, and like the water here is really warm. What do you do?
Senku looks at Lolo and he's like, I don't know if we can take that back up with us. I also don't know if it's safe.
Perhaps it's for the best. Shall we head up and tell them that we can't get it out?
Well, don't we need it?
I'm sure we'll be fine without it.
Don't we pretty specifically need it, though?
If you use your hydraulic push, you might be able to dislodge it.
Okay. Well, are you okay?
Yes, of course, my boy. It's just... I'm hyping myself up a little bit. A great task awaits us. And I worry that the Celestial Dragon will not be a fair master. You know, he took my powers away a long time ago, after all.
He did, and I don't know why he did that.
And he cheated.
Do you want to talk about it? I can breathe underwater. It's fine.
Oh,
I got this. We can talk here.
Oh, you'll understand. You already understand. No. I appreciate the sentiment, Senku, my boy, but some things are simply better left unsaid. Now, use your hydraulic push to root up this boulder.
Okay.
Senku's gonna use hydraulic push.
Okay. And with that, you do uproot the boulder pretty easily. The problem is what comes afterwards.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Because that crack is still very warm. And as you unroot the boulder, the water gets extremely, extremely hot. As volcanic, like lava starts to spew out, and heat rushes from that crack, superheating the water. And I would like everyone to roll initiative real fast. Dice will return after these messages. We now return to Dice will roll. Okay, top of the round. Shuji, you're kind of like sitting on the water still, like drying yourself off a little bit now. When you see like a fucking blast of bubbles erupt to the surface of the lake. And it's like bubbling a lot now in that area. What do you do?
Is it gonna hurt one of my friends?
You know, you just see a lot of bubbles. What do you do?
I'd like to know what it is before I go dive into the water.
Do you want to make a nature check?
Not really, since it's a +4.
No, you can still try figure it out.
Sure, yeah. I'll make a nature check. 19.
You know what? The DC in my head for this was 18, because I think this is something that even a low-level adventurer would be able to recognize.
Okay.
You know that bubbles form when air and hot happen in water. And that is a lot of bubbles, which means it's either a lot of air or, judging from warm water, it's getting very hot. It seems that this part of the lake is boiling.
Oh.
because unfortunately, what you don't know is that Sanku has accidentally unrooted a cog that was holding a load of lava back.
Oh, okay. Senku's still in the water?
Sanku is 60 feet down and has that big, hefty piece of rock that he's supposed to get out.
Okay. I was going to ask to do something, and technically, it's kind of a thing. But this is going to be up to you, because I will fully understand if you say, no, that's not how that works. The lava is underwater, but lava burns.
Uh-huh.
Can I use my fire jump ring to get to Senku and try and help him?
Now, this is an interesting one. So I think there aren't any naked flames, so I don't think you can jump into, there's not just a random fire under it. However, I will allow you to say that lava is a source of fire.
Lava is a source of fire.
And also, more importantly, it's anime as fuck, so I'll allow it.
It is
Chuji,
anime as fuck is the thing.
You take a deep breath. I'm sure you take a deep breath.
Hold on. I'm already good.
Okay, what do you do?
How many times can I use my fire jumper?
I believe it's once per day.
Fuck. Okay. Damn it.
It's still good to get down there and help.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. Chuji's going to, Oh, they have to have a fire up here, though.
If only there was someone here that had magic that could do it.
Okay. I'm
Masami
going
has
to...
continual flame.
Yeah.
You can delay your turn and wait for Masami to do it, and then do it after Masami does.
No, exactly, yeah. Chuji saves their 2 actions, and looks at Masami, he's like, can you catch something on fire right now?
Masami takes out their sword like, I can do that.
Masami, it is your turn. Chuji has asked you to start a fire. What do you do?
They're going to quick draw their Chokuto, cast continual flame on it. So basically their sword is on fire. And they go, there you go.
Okay. Chuji, a fire bursts from this sword, and you are able to basically hop and then, vanish into the fire.
Yeah.
And you reappear 60 feet underwater. The water is very, very, very hot now.
Ouch.
It's really, really bad, actually.
Cool.
So you're immediately going to need to make me a fortitude save.
Okay. 47.
47 against this save. Okay, that's going to be a success. So you're going to take half of 10d6 fire damage. So, Chuji, that's going to be half of 35 damage for a total of 17 damage as the boiling water scalds you. Sanku, you turn and you see Chuji has appeared underwater. They're holding their breath. You can't air bubble them because there is no air down here that you're supposed to cast before they enter the water, you know?
Uh-huh.
So Chuji has a number of rounds equal to their constitution modifier before they run out of air. Sanku, it is now your turn. Chuji's here, which is great. You need to get that boulder, but also the water is you see lava starting to erupt out of that crack, and it is immediately boiling the water really badly. And it's only going to get hotter.
Sanku casts dragon form.
Okay. On.
Himself.
Oh,
Okay. So describe this for me. How does this look?
I think Sanku is pretty immediately okay, because I think that he had a feeling that something like this would happen, because I had a feeling that something like this would happen. And I also think it's pretty logical to assume that something that that a crack that it is warmer next to it is gonna be some sort of volcanic thing. I think he's about to do something, sees Chuji, and is like, okay, and decides to do a different thing. And I genuinely think that it's the same type as Lolo.
Oh, a sea dragon?
Yeah. Because it gives a 40-foot or 100-foot fly speed and a 40-foot regular speed, can I use that to have a swim speed?
Yes, and I will say the swim speed of a sea dragon is, it has a 50-foot swim speed.
Okay.
So that's it. It would take you 2 actions to get out of the water immediately. You, however, have used 2 actions now.
Okay. Then I think he's going to grab the boulders
Okay.
in one arm.
Yeah, you could like chomp down on it pretty easily.
Okay.
So, Sanku, you erupt into this massive sea dragon. I think you look a little softer than Lolo when he turns into a sea dragon. How do you think you look in comparison?
I think Sanku is more round, soft lines rather than like hard lines that I imagine most dragons would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's like a softer, more like he's cute. He's cute.
Mm-hmm.
He probably has more of like the literal sea dragon, like the real life sea dragon things.
Okay, like the cousin of the seahorse, the leafy sea dragon. They kind of like have these long seaweed-like frills coming off them. Yeah, I get you.
Like they're frilly.
Yeah. While in this form, Sanku, you have a plus 28 to your athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try grab it and bring it to your mouth?
Yes. I rolled a 30.
Okay, I think, Sanku, you are struggling a little bit to get the whole the statue into your mouth. You're kind of like, it's heavier than you thought, and maybe you were expecting your dragon form to just be invincibly strong. But even something as big as this is like kind of catching you off guard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is your turn, Sanku. You are going to make a fortitude save for me because it is boiling hot.
40.
A save just about. So that's going to be half of 35 again, the same as Chuji. That's 17.
Cool. How much temporary HP do I get?
From dragon
Being a
form, you gain 15 temporary HP. So in total, you took 2.
Awesome.
Chuji, it is your turn. You are underwater, and it's getting very, very hot. But you can see that Sanku, even in his big dragon form, is having a hard time getting that rock. So Sanku will get you out of here, which is great because you are, again, remembering that you can't swim. Are you going to push past your limits and help Sanku and, like, try to overcome your fear of this? Or is life going to get in the way?
I was going to say Chuji does some deep breathing exercises, but they can't.
You drown immediately.
Yeah. Chuji chose to do this. They are more scared of losing Sanku than being in the water. So they want to help in any way that they can. And they're going to use that fucking plus 31 athletics that they have.
Okay. So are you grabbing the boulder? Because it's right next to you. You teleport down right next to it.
Yeah. They are grabbing it with their hands. 47.
Crit success. Chuji, you grab it, and I think with your crit success, you are just going to cling onto it tight, and so long as you get out, it gets out. I'm not going to, like, increase your DC for, like, you're swimming with a very heavy piece of rock. I think you are clinging onto it so hard that it's more an extension of yourself at the moment. Mm-hmm. You have 2 actions left. What the fuck do you do now?
Swim up?
Okay. Do you want to make me another athletics roll to swim?
I'll make that check. Nah,
oh my
20,
god.
Suck my dick, 51.
Oh my god. So on a nat 20, which is a critical success, what's your speed?
Chuji's speed
Are you, like, in Stoked Flame stance right now?
Yes, they are. Chuji's speed is 55 feet.
Okay. Chuji, on a critical success, you swim 20 feet directly upwards while holding this massive statue piece under one arm. That is so incredibly impressive, considering you literally don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
You are pushing back against destiny, and you have 1 action left. What do you do?
One more time. 46.
That's another critical success. You swim another 20 feet directly up. You are 40 feet out of 60 feet of the way out. I think, like, Sanku, you are surprised by this. Chuji is pushing past something that you know they can't do.
Oh my god.
Chuji, make me a fortitude save as you boil alive.
F, man.
I rolled really good again, 47.
Yeah, that's another success. So that's going to be half of 28, which is 14 damage. Masami, it is your turn. By now, you're still holding like this flaming Shokuto in one hand, and you kind of like look over the edge, and you can see Chuji is swimming towards the surface, as well as Boiled Dem and Senku. You have 3 actions. Do you have any way you want to help out? What's the plan here?
What if I try to cancel out the heat with a spell?
What spell?
Code of Cold.
I like it. Yeah, okay. So if you try blast that water, obviously not aiming at Senku and Chuji,
No.
but if you blast the water with Cone of Cold, I will actually negate that lava damage for 1 round, meaning the 2 will be able to escape safely.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, Masami, how does this look?
So I think the way they got down was with their fucking, their spider climb shoes, because they're still, like, on the edge of the lake, basically. So I think they just hold their hands a little close to the water and cast Cone of Cold. The runes on their Chokuto, I think, glow, and magic channels through their sword into their other hand, and part of the lake, I wouldn't say freezes over, but gets colder.
I think it's really weird because like I think some of the lava beneath Senku starts to like solidify into rock, and the water is briefly back to its regular temperature. No ice forms except like far away from you guys, and it's suddenly like a better temperature. But you know that lava is going to keep spurting out and like start boiling the water again soon. But Masami has bought you some time. Do you do anything else on your turn, Masami?
I don't really know if there's really anything they can do here.
If you want to end your turn there, you can. But you have seriously saved both of them.
Yeah, I think that's where their turn ends.
Okay. Senku, you are a mighty sea dragon. Chuji is swimming very close to the surface and has got the boulder. Masami is cooled down to water, making it actually a decent temperature for you again. And you have a swim speed of 50 feet. What do you do?
I think Senku is going to swim directly at the surface. I think he's going towards like Chuji. I'm gonna swim towards Chuji to grab them. Because I'm gonna use all of my actions to swim up.
Okay, you trying to escape?
Yeah.
Okay,
With Chuji
with Chuji.
and the boulders.
How do you grab Chuji? Like with an arm, with your mouth? What's the plan here?
Not with my mouth. You can't trick me into boring him.
Wow.
You can't do it. Probably with their arms.
Okay, so what Masami sees after casting Cone of Cold is they step back, they look up, and a mighty sea serpent erupts from the lake, carrying Shi Chuji under one arm as Shi Chuji splutters and coughs, clinging onto that part of the statue. And Senku, you land. Chuji, you stumble out. And Masami, you breathe a sigh of relief, as teamwork saved the day.
Senku turns back into a little guy.
Oh boy.
Well, I did it.
Chuji's like coughing on the ground. They're like, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine. I didn't really get that hurt. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Lolo erupts out and he's like, "That was fantastic, everyone! Look at that! Teamwork, and you turned into a mighty sea dragon! Oh, Senku, Chuji, Masami, I'm so proud of you all! You should do more adventuring as a sea dragon more often, Senku.
But I think I look cuter like this.
You are quite cute is the problem.
Yeah, dragons aren't very cute.
What?
Well, dragons can be cute.
Huh. Let's just go put this back on top of the mountain.
Lola, you're very cute. Alright, be grumpy.
Do you guys want to make your way back to the top of the thing and try, put this statue back together and read what it has to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way back up. You position it carefully. Chuji, do you want to make me a crafting check to see if you can figure out how to put it back together?
Yes, please.
Okay. Chuji, you paste some like stuff back together, and it holds. It's more or less okay. Doesn't look great, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like all this script that you cannot read on it. You know the language, so you might be able to like spend some time figuring it out. But yeah, what do you do?
I mean, just that. Chuji wants to figure out what it says.
Okay. Do you want to make me a society check, please, to decipher it? Sanku, I know you have comprehend language on your librarian staff, but you know that in cases like this, where things are steeped in metaphor, your staff actually is not going to help. Like, you can tell just looking at like the words on it and like what little scraps you can put together that this is not going to be something that you can just wave a staff at. You need to like understand it, not translate it.
Oh, that's fair.
Chuji, you take one look at this and say, oh, fuck. No.
Yeah.
You have a +0 intelligence, Chuji, and you're untrained. You take one look and say, not my scene.
Chuchi blinks one eye at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like,
Sanku, you take a gander at it. Masami, do you want to roll me a society check?
They can sure try.
Let's see what happens. Okay. Masami and Sanku, the two of you look together, and I think you piece some stuff together. A few phrases. What it says is, a lineage of maidens, bold and noble. Those allowed the privilege of intercession. The dragon spirit.
weird.
So what you know that means, upon reading it, is that so you know that in the legend of the celestial dragon, it's a maiden from a noble family who will be the one to receive the wish that it grants every 12 years. Like, it's basically a giant wish dragon. Some sort of Shenron, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And every 12 years, it has always been like a princess from a noble family to gain it. And no one else, aside from the princesses of that noble family, can ask for a wish. But those 3 lines across the statues, a lineage of maidens, bold and noble, those allowed the privilege of intercession, the dragon spirit. You come to realize that the words bold and noble are not meant to be like noble in a nobility sense, noble in a proud sense. Maiden is a mistranslation. The original words are more faithfully translated as intercessor. That basically, in the ritual itself, the maiden is just a name given to whoever the intercessor is. So anyone can be, like, well, you have to be chosen for it. It's from a lineage, but it's not necessarily nobility. So whoever is the intercessor of the dragon spirit component, the one who actually needs to perform the ritual, is who you're looking for. So technically, if you were named it, anyone could do this ritual.
It is interesting.
Masami, meanwhile, the other you.
Woo!
Where did you go?
West.
You make your way, and you find here the dog, the sky dragon, and the archer, plainly visible. As you make your way forward, you see that there are more inscriptions all over them. Do you want to try read what they say?
Yeah, I think I can sure try.
Oh yeah, Masami, you read the fuck out of this. Easy
Oh, cool.
peasy.
Okay. Awesome.
You, like,
Sick.
I think the other you, once like you know, this might be the real you. The other one with the others might, they're both the real you, you know.
Yeah.
But the West Masami,
Yes.
you find that this set of statues say, a branch growing between 2 worlds, which connects heaven and hell. Both implement and offering, the dragon's bones. What you get from this, do you want to make an Arcana check?
Sure, I'm better at those.
Okay. You actually think you might know the tree that this is referencing.
Okay.
A boundary tree. A sacred but now extinct plant that was once used to treat with the gods. Apparently it had, like, magic fruit empowered by standing on, like, the world between worlds. And that magic fruit was highly sought after. And those who used the branches of this boundary tree, which you know is only, like, a code name. Like, it's a folk name for it. You don't know... No one knows what the actual tree is, except that it's now extinct.
Okay.
You know? What you know about it is that it seems that the branch here is the bones component of the ritual, required as an offering to the dragon. So if you were to perform this ritual, you would need one of those branches of this extinct tree.
Huh. All right, cool.
So
I guess.
Your other body is back with the boys. What do you say?
Well, figured out the other statues.
Yeah.
To do the ritual, we would need a branch from an extinct tree.
Do the ritual?
We're not doing the ritual. This is just what I learned.
Okay.
An extinct tree?
Yeah. We need a branch from a boundary tree. That's the folklore name for it.
Huh.
And those don't exist anymore.
Huh. Okay. I mean, I guess we can't do the ritual no matter what, huh?
Seems like it, unless something wants to prove us wrong.
Guys, I think we're meant to do this. What I
Are we?
like, I think that we were like essentially brought here. We've been like compelled to go here with these particular steps to do a particular thing.
It's a wish-granting dragon.
And this dragon grants wishes.
Maybe we can wish for Hao Jin back.
That, or where she is, or for the power to save her, stuff like that. Like, we can do that.
Yeah.
But, like, don't worry. If we get a wish granted by him, isn't that you kind of winning in the first place, Lolo? Because it means he's doing what you want.
Yeah.
Which makes you the boss of him.
Would you two like to make me a diplomacy check?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be pulling the weight on this one.
Chuji, you can just be assisting if it helps.
Yeah. I'd like to assist because I have a +0.
Wow.
You rolled a 5. Chuji, your yeah does not help. Surprising everyone. You going, yeah, doesn't actually change the outcome. But Sanku, I think with your +29, I think Lolo looks at you with those big watery eyes and goes, huh.
Oh,
How now, celestial dragon? You shall do my bidding. How the tables have turned. Once you
goodness.
were the master, and I was the victim of your horrible magic. But I shall be the master now, as I compel you to aid me on my quest. And he seems genuinely, actually quite uplifted by that concept. And he's like, yes, fellows, you're right. We were brought here by magic, the Ruby Phoenix's magic nonetheless, and some great power has awakened in this place already. We were meant to come here, to get a wish from the Celestial Dragon, to get us to where the Ruby Phoenix is when all else is impossible. What do you say we all go awaken the Celestial Dragon and get back at him for that terrible spell he put me under?
Yeah. Get his ass.
Alright. Okay.
There are still 2 more clusters of statues. Shall we, everyone?
Okay.
Hi ho! He fucking darts off. He's so fucking excited now.
Lolo, come back!
I think that might be the first time he's ever left his bag.
Well, here, yeah. In general, he leaves it all the time, but, like, here, he's been very happy that it's a spa now.
Chuji is happy that he's not as afraid.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to go check out those last 2 clusters of statues?
Yeah.
Yes.
So who's going east and who's going south?
Senku is just following wherever Lolo's gone.
Lolo's fucking dashing off to the east, I think.
All right.
And east he goes.
Then the group
Okay.
goes east, and Masami's bilocation goes south.
Okay. To the east, the swallow, the ox, and a sovereign dragon look out from an outcropping of the plateau. Do you guys... There are, there's a lot of ice around them, though, and they're kind of, covering it up. How do you get the ice off of these statues?
Punch.
Okay. Is this an attack roll or an athletics roll, Chuji?
I'm gonna say attack to make it fun, but they're not trying to hurt the statue, they're just trying to get the fucking ice off.
Okay. Make me an attack roll.
46.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's a hit. Roll me damage.
28.
Okay. So Chuji, you draw back a fist and you fucking brawl into the ice, and it shatters. But then you see that you did dent the statue a little bit, not too much. It doesn't break.
Ah, shit.
It doesn't break. You're good.
Uh-huh.
I do want to say that Diamond Fist did work in your disfavor here, and if you had rolled even a little bit higher with your damage, you would have broken one of the statues.
Good. Okay.
Lolo's like, Chuji, watch out! Don't you know we have a quest to tame the celestial dragon?
I'm sorry.
He perches on Masami's head. Well, what does it say? How do we complete the ritual?
Okay, relax, old man. Let's see.
You guys want to make a society check?
Mm.
Oh, holy shit, yeah, Masami, you lean in and you get this pretty quickly. You're actually pretty good at this. A sacred art, the dance of Raisho, steps in circles to surround the world. The dragon's breath. And I think you realize that just like the boundary tree is the bones of the ritual, this sacred dance, the Raisho dance, is the breath component of the ritual. And
Okay.
you recognize the name Raisho. You specifically, Masami,
Okay.
because you were told about it just the other day by the Arms of Balance. They told you about a monastery up in the mountains, the Raisho Monastery.
Oh.
And you know that it is the name of a priest of legend who founded a monastery near the foot of this mountain. So you actually know where to go to find this Raisho place.
Okay.
Oh, what does it say?
Well, it's saying that this dance, that the Raisho dance, is the breath of the ritual. And I actually know where the monastery is.
Oh, what excellent luck with his. Oh, adventurers, we'll have that celestial dragon begging for forgiveness in no time.
Right. The Arms of Balance is staying there. Well, at least they're monastery hopping to get to where they need to go. So maybe we'll see them.
Now we just have to go to and Masami, as he's saying this, your other one arrives at the South Monastery.
They zone out.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Here you stand, Masami. A cluster of statues comprising the underworld dragon, the swordswoman, and the sea dragon. Funny.
Yeah.
He looks vaguely like Lolo. It's amusing. He's definitely not Lolo, but yeah, it's a passing resemblance, you know?
It's almost there. Maybe a distant ancestor.
These statues are in excellent repair. And it's pretty good. Pretty easy to read what it says. Do you want to make me one last society check to see what they say?
Okay.
You read it, and it says, "The celestial dragon once spanned the sky and shook the land before they were sundered. Assemble the celestial dragon's 3 fragments, their breath, their spirit, and their bones, that they may be born again as the wheel completes its turn. A wish granted." But to you, it becomes very clear. This celestial dragon is more than just a common worm. It is a primordial being. And their power is more than enough to open a way to the floating island and to Haojin. To do it, you need to bring forward those 3 components for the ritual. The breath, the spirit, and the bones, which you now know means a boundary cypress, the Raisho dance, and an intercessor to perform the ritual. Once you have all 3 of those, and you can perform the ritual up here on top of the mountain, you will summon the Celestial Dragon. And the Celestial Dragon will give you a wish if your desire and your heart is strong enough. I think you find that there are some other clues. He might not give you that wish. If he does not believe that you have offered enough, he will not grant you a wish. But if you give up enough, whether it's through sacrifice or through just devotion, you will be able to gain untold powers beyond even what you wished for. Tools that will help you on your journeys, though whatever that means, you don't necessarily know. Masami, you fade back into the boys again, and you're able to, tell them what you know.
Well, South Shrine it basically says we need all 3 components to complete this ritual, and depending on what we give up, be it a sacrifice, devotion, something, he will either not give us our wish or give us more than what we asked for.
That sounds like the Celestial Dragon, all right. Less of a person and more of a force.
Well, I'd be primordial being the embodiment of the sky itself. Yeah, I would imagine.
So, now what? What's next on our agenda? What will we seek out? We need this dance, we need an intercessor, and we need this boundary tree.
Well, we already know the location for one thing. And that's the easiest, but also at the base of the mountain.
Excellent. Well,
maybe we should do the hardest first?
Should we not, go for the thing that we have first, and then...
I guess, if you want to do it the unfun way.
We don't even know where else to go!
I say, let's go with what we know for now, because otherwise we'll just be roaming through the mountains blindly, hoping we stumble across something.
Okay.
Worry not, Master Chuji. The fun has only just begun. Let's get this adventure on the way! And he kind of flies off.
Senku is gonna head off too.
You all follow Lolo back towards the Solar Jian, ready to make your way towards the first step on your journey to summon the Celestial Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 of you make your way down the mountain towards this massive airship, ready to seek out a god from beyond the beginning of Tiansha, the Celestial Dragon, the King of the Zodiac, who will grant a wish to you should your heart prove pure enough. This episode of Dice Will Roll would not have been possible without the support of our patrons: Baron Stormcrow, Sam Stryker, Silken Ashra, Tony Saunders, Mita, Ari Graham, Arave, Varia and the Girls, GP Dora, Marshmallowberry, Ferric Falcon, Luis Loza, Aries, Alexander Criswell, May Cohen, Skylee, Kendra West, Genuinely Tricked, Transgirl Trish, Platonic, Bal Punyon, Join the Catman, Matthew Wilson Krasnovich, Tillen Shark, Glitch HD, Jace Snooks, Zenith Drums, Torbjorn, Sophia Varlera, G Barbera, Luke, Gideon, Sarah B, Seth, Rivona Darkglow, Kira, Lichalope, Gizmo, Matthew, Cass, Fable McElduff, Eva, Chris Lutman, Rem T. Bright, Lonesome Chunk, Steph, Sean C, Natasha Lumley, Rhiannon C, Ellie, Jenna Mitchell, Kane Kendrick, Triceratops, Anna Maria, Jordan, Cynical Spinsters, Emily Laderna, John de Boquarter, SS66 Seeker, and Dame Valerie III. If you'd like to see what you can get for helping us keep it rolling, check out patreon.com/diceroll today!